Uttara bhadrapada Nakshatra. In this video, we are going to talk about Uttara bhadrapada Nakshatra, its nature, symbol, deity, padas, and more. So keep watching. Namaste and welcome to Vedic Astrology channel. I'm your host Prasad Mahazani. Help you raise your vibrations and become your true self with the help of Vedic Astrology. Uttara bhadrapada Nakshatra. Uttara means letter, Bhadra means good, Pada means foot. So it is a letter good food. The literal meaning of the word Uttara bhadrapada is a letter good food. This nakshatra works in pair with the Purva bhadrapada nakshatra, which we discussed into the last video, which is more about the aggression, destruction, and the deity of it is Ajayakapada. Let's talk about the symbol of Uttara bhadrapada nakshatra. The symbol of Uttara bhadrapada nakshatra is the last bed, or the two joined men, or the back legs of the funeral cot. Okay, so these are the symbolism associated with the Uttara bhadrapada nakshatra. Uttara bhadrapada is a very mysterious nakshatra, and it gets manifested in different ways depending upon the planets placed in there and aspected by other planets. We'll talk about it later in this video. The symbolism of the Uttara bhadrapada nakshatra is the funeral cot. It is the last cot. It is the funeral cot. Okay, what it shows is it shows the end of the life. It shows death. Okay, and when I say death, sleep is also associated with death. Sleep is also the state of death for a temporary period, wherein we see dreams. Dreams can also be seen with this nakshatra. This nakshatra is associated with the dreams and all the 12th house things, which is about the divine guidance, about the divine intelligence of the universal sciences, about how things work. Like astrology, meditation, yoga, all kinds of things can be seen with this nakshatra. Next is the deity of this nakshatra. Deity of the Uttara bhadrapada nakshatra is Ahirbudhnya. This is a serpent deity. This is known as the deity of the serpents of the depth. In Vedic culture or in Vedic text, you will often see serpents living under the water reservoirs. Like there is serpent below the ocean, below the river, below the lake. All these things are related with this nakshatra. You will often see the image of Lord Vishnu on a serpent. So serpent has a great significance in all the mythology as well as in spirituality as well. You will also see the Kundalini denoted by a serpent, which is sleeping. That is Uttara bhadrapada. All these mysterious deities are associated with this nakshatra, but a specific deity for this is the Ahirbudhnya, and Lord Shiva and Vishnu is also associated with this nakshatra. Next is the nature of this nakshatra. The nature of this nakshatra is this is a passive nakshatra. When I say passive nakshatra, it requires some effort to take action. We have seen the Purva bhadrapada nakshatra, which is aggressive and destructive nakshatra, which is a go-getter. Once he decides where he wants to go in life, he will simply go and achieve that no matter what. But Uttara bhadrapada nakshatra is more about passive. So Uttara bhadrapada nakshatra is more about the wisdom. So it takes its time to act upon certain things. Okay, but when it is operating from its lower level or from its lower plane, what happens is it often tends to procrastinate or becomes lazy or doesn't even act when it is required. On the downside of this nakshatra, these people become passive or we can say they become lazy. Okay, but if these nakshatras have aggressive planets like Sun, Mars, Rahu, then this nakshatra works better. In fact, any planet in this nakshatra activates certain kind of, or at least some kind of activity into this nakshatra. If there is no planet into this nakshatra, then it becomes difficult for this nakshatra to take actions. Okay, and the placement of Saturn is also important for this nakshatra to work at its highest plane. Uttara bhadrapada Nakshatra people are very good counselors. This is a spiritual nakshatra. This is associated with the divine intelligence, and so oftentimes these people are involved into certain kind of spirituality or divine sciences, and these people become the greatest scholars or the greatest counselors. With the help of this divine science, they help people understand or decode the universal wisdom. These people can be into astrology, these people can be into yoga and meditation or any divine science to help people. Uttara bhadrapada is a mysterious nakshatra. This nakshatra is a very difficult to understand the true nature of this nakshatra. If a person has ascendant, moon, sun, or important planets like Atmakaraka, ninth lord, 10th lord, Kendra lord into this sign of Uttara bhadrapada, first thing is it activates this nakshatra, but more so the personality of that native becomes mysterious and it has some hidden part to it. We have seen this in Purva Bhadrapada as well, wherein these natives live two different life. Like they will have one day-to-day job, and in the night they may be working into some spiritual practices, which nobody is aware of. Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra is also mysterious and intense because of the deity of Ahirbudhnya. Ahirbudhnya is a compassionate deity as compared to Rudra, but it still has that serpent instinct to it and serpent nature to it, which makes them mysterious. Next is Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra is looking upwards. When a nakshatra is upward looking, it is simply expansive. It likes to expand. So a person with the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra likes to shine, likes to share their knowledge with people. Okay, but only in certain planetary alignments. We'll talk about that when we will talk about the padas of this nakshatra. Next thing to look out in Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra is it is a Mula Kingdom Nakshatra. Mula Kingdom Nakshatra are the nakshatras which are more about, adjusting, more about the flexibility. So this nakshatra is extremely flexible and thus it can get manifested in any way. It can get manifested through any means. So it becomes difficult to track this nakshatra, to understand this nakshatra, understand true nature of this nakshatra as we discussed in the earlier part of this video. Okay. Next is the padas of the nakshatra. Let's talk about the padas. First pada of the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra falls into 3 degrees 20 minutes of Pisces to 6 degrees 40 minutes, which is into the Leo Navamsha. Now this nakshatra has an impact of sun. Sun is about shining. The first thing we know about sun is its light. So these people like to shine in public. These people like to share what they know with the public. This nakshatra is about the authority and leadership and about the public life. The second pada of the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra falls into the 6 degrees 40 minutes to the 10 degrees of the Pisces, and which falls into the Virgo Navamsha. Now here, this nakshatra becomes analytical, and it gets that Mercurian impact on this nakshatra, which is about analyzing the information, which is about the communication and networking. Uttara bhadrapada is a wise nakshatra, and here it becomes even more analytical and organized. Third pada of Uttara bhadrapada Nakshatra goes from 10th degree to the 13 degrees 20 minutes, and it falls into the Libra sign, into the Libra Navamsha. What is Libra? Libra is about the balance and equilibrium. So these people bring in balance and equilibrium wherever they go, in whichever situation they are in. But they have to guard themselves against being too passive or being too lazy. Okay, they have to avoid being passive, and they have to be active. Okay, if these people have more planets placed into this Navamsha, then it can activate some kind of activity. Okay, next, the fourth pada of this nakshatra goes from 13 degrees 20 minutes to the 16 degrees 40 minutes, and it goes into the Scorpio Navamsha, which is one of the most intense and passionate Navamsha, which is ruled by Mars, and it is about bringing in the action. It intensifies the action into this pada. Now, this otherwise passive nakshatra is ruled by intense action-oriented Mars-ruled sign of Scorpio. The sign of Scorpio also has some impact of occult and mysticism and all the 8th house hidden things. Now the wisdom of the Uttara bhadrapada Nakshatra goes into the 8th house of occult and mysticism. When I say 8th house, Scorpio has the 8th house impact. That's why I said the 8th house. It's not the literal 8th house, but the occult mysticism significations of the Scorpio resonates well with the wisdom of Uttara bhadrapada Nakshatra. Okay, so yes, this was Uttara bhadrapada Nakshatra as much as I could hold, grasp and share with you guys. If you want to know more about Vedic astrology, these two videos on your screen will help you to dive deep into Vedic astrology. Sending you tons of positive energy, sending you high vibes. See you in the next videos. Love and peace. Namaste and welcome to Pramanik Astrology channel. Friends, I am creating an online course for Vedic astrology. For those who want to learn Vedic astrology without spending thousands of dollars on online courses, even if you have no background of Vedic astrology. Okay, so I'm creating one course which will help you to understand Vedic astrology step by step. This will be an action oriented course, so you will have a lot of homework and exercises, and you will know more about Vedic astrology. Okay, so those who are on my email list, you will get an email soon regarding the updates about my online course. Sending you tons of positive energy. Love and peace. Namaste.